comes the next question. So question number one. So we have studied auditing extensively. Now I am trying to cut the whole cake into small pieces so that you can easily enjoy the subject and you can gulp it. Okay. So the first question we have seen, what is the definition of audit? Second question, we have seen what is the overall objective of the auditor. And the third question comes, what is the scope of the audit? Okay. So, I have been teaching for the last maybe 15 years. So I have seen some areas which are grossly misunderstood or not understood at all by the students. This is one area like that. Unfortunately, this scope of the audit is there, no? This scope of the audit, there is no meaning given to what is the scope of the audit. So you look the whole ICI study material or any reference textbook, you read the complete textbook, what is the scope of the audit is in precisely is not given. That doesn't mean it is difficult. It is a very simple concept. But probably they could have given 1-2 sentences more so that student will understand, oh, this is what I am studying. So write it down in your notes. Scope refers to the extent of verification. Scope refers to the extent verification. So what are all to be verified by the auditor? What need not be verified by the auditor? So if it falls within, hey, auditor, you have to verify this. Okay, that is included in the scope. Hey, auditor, you don't need to verify this. That is excluded from the audit. So when X Limited appointed me to be the auditor, hey, Mr. Pavan, you are our company auditor. Okay. So whether it is a company or a sole proprietor firm or a partnership firm, when I am appointed, what extent I need to verify, what aspects I need to verify, what are to be verified, what are not to be verified. As an auditor, am I expected or am I required? Is it necessary for me to verify this particular aspect? That is the question mark. Say, for example, I am conducting audit of college. I'm conducting audit of, I have conducted audit of university also. I have conducted audit of a college also, obviously. So when I'm conducting audit of a university, is it necessary for me to look at the student attendance register? There are two aspects. Question number one, if I want to verify, do I have the right to verify? Question number two, do I need to verify it? Coming back to question number one, can I verify? If at all I want to verify, do I have the authority to verify? The answer is yes. Yes. So if I go to the board of trustees, or if I go to the correspondent of the college, or if I go to at least the principal of the college, or if I go to any administrative head of the college when I'm the auditor. So I asked them, hey, I want to verify student attendance register of, say, for example, third year BCom. Then the attendance register will come to me. Or I'll go to the department and I can verify. I do have the legal right to verify that. But as an auditor, am I required to verify it? The answer is no. So Pavan sir, basically what is the scope of the audit? Who determines the scope of the audit? Simple. The scope of the audit is determined by the auditor himself. Write down, the scope of the audit is determined by the auditor, full stop. Management will never tell me, you verify this, you do not verify this. That represents a limitation on the scope. Management cannot tell, if I'm conducting any audit, management cannot tell, hey, Pavan, verify this, don't verify this. You cannot tell me that. I will decide what to verify, what not to verify. So it is something like, there is a small comedy clip in one of recent Telugu movies, wherein one patient comes and says, hey, doctor, these are the symptoms. Give me these 2 tablets. So then the comedian, the doctor, who is a famous comedian in Telugu, he says, hey, if you are coming with the symptoms, if you carry on your diagnostic, that investigative checking and all, and if you are concluding that these are the medicines to be used, why the hell you are coming to me? Go and open a medical shop now. Isn't it? So simply, if you are appointing me to be the auditor, don't tell me what to do. Damn, come on. That is what I studied. I know what to do. So again, what is the scope of the audit? Scope of the audit refers to the extent to what extent the audit is to be done, the extent of audit procedures, the extent of things to be verified by the auditor, what are to be verified by the auditor, what need not be verified by the auditor. This is the scope. Point number one. Point number two, who determines the scope? Auditor himself determines the scope. Okay, management or the owners will not tell the scope. Sometimes, in case of voluntary audits, which is not statutory or which is not required by any of the enactments, if I am appointed by a party voluntarily, they might ask me, Pavan sir, verify this. We are appointing you to do this. Okay, don't look at all the other aspects. This is enough. So this is why we are appointing you. For example, a partnership firm appointed me to calculate goodwill. Whether, in case of admission of a partner or retirement of a partner, they asked us, verify whether goodwill calculation is correct or not. That's it. Then they might restrict me. Pavan sir, don't put your finger in all these things, Pavan sir. Don't say you have a go down in Chennai. I'll go and verify your stocks in Chennai. And we don't want you to carry on any fixed asset audit or inventory audit or debtors audit, or we don't want you to express opinion on the financial statements. It is just a voluntary audit, and we want you to verify this particular aspect. Okay, even in voluntary audit also we conduct audit, but this is a kind of consultancy wherein they're appointing you for a specific thing. Then your verification will be limited only to that particular aspect. But remember, in case of statutory audit, you can never say do this, don't do this. In case of voluntary audit, probably sometimes the client might say, dear auditor, verify this, don't verify this, possible. But in case of statutory audit, no, you cannot. All company audits are statutory audits. So whenever you are conducting audit of a company, whether it is a big company or small company, whether it is a private company or a public company, whether it is a listed company or unlisted company, whatever the company it is, whatever the nature of business the company is into, you cannot tell me verify this, don't verify this. Now, coming back to the scope of the audit. So look here what ICAI is mentioning. To form an opinion, obviously, in question number 2, we have seen that the primary objective of audit is to form and express opinion. So to express opinion, I need to form the opinion first. To form an opinion, the auditor should be satisfied that accounting information is reliable. Financial statements is output. Financial statements are the input. For that, there is some input, no? So to the accounting system, input is accounting information. Input is accounting information. Transactions and events. Okay, transactions that have happened, that is the input. Output is financial statement. So auditor should get, a satisfaction that accounting information is reliable. Accounting information is sufficient because accounting information is the basis for preparation of financial statements. Obviously, common sense. Accounting information is the basis for preparation of financial statements. So as an auditor, I should be satisfied with the examination that this accounting information is reliable. This accounting information is sufficient. This is step 1. Step 2, all the aspects are covered in the audit. Sir, what do you mean by all the aspects of the enterprise to be covered in audit? What are these aspects to be covered? That is given in next question. Don't worry. What are the aspects to be covered in an audit is another question. Then in forming his opinion, the auditor should also decide whether relevant information is properly disclosed. So first point is speaking about accounting information, reliability, sufficiency. Third point. Okay, let us skip the second point for the time being. So let us assume that this is second point. So first point is about accounting information, reliability, sufficiency. First point is about. Second point is about adequate disclosures, whether information is properly disclosed in financial statements, how that is to be disclosed, whether it is disclosed or not. This is about sufficiency of disclosures in financial statement. 3. Next point. I told you, if there is any technicality, the auditor is not expected to understand the technicalities in many areas. Okay. look here, the auditor is not expected to perform duties which fall outside the scope of his competence. What is competence? Competence is the ability of a person to perform something. Okay, a minor is not competent to enter into a contract. A chartered accountant is competent to conduct an audit, obviously. Okay, so as an auditor, I am competent to conduct audit as a chartered accountant. But imagine I'm conducting audit of one entity like Tata Steels. Then when I enter Tata Steel, there is some manufacturing going on. There is some iron or steel which is in liquid form, which is being processed to some extent. Can I understand the technicalities there and can I understand the valuations there? To a great extent, no. This is where many a times we have to work closely with some experts. So we hire experts or we take the help of experts in understanding so many things. So technical things or legal things sometimes we might not be able to understand. So, if it is outside my scope, if it is, outside my competence technically, don't expect me to understand that. Okay. So they're saying the auditor is not expected to perform duties which fall outside the scope of his competence. Even I was conducting audit of one entity. Maybe I do not take the name of the entity, but it is one pharmaceutical company, Ayurvedic pharmaceutical company located in Kerala, which is a very big enterprise. Now, when I entered their factory, there are big, big storage drums. Like, they are storing so many types of liquids there. Some are types of oil, some are types of, roots of some trees and all. So there are so many types of inventory stored in bins, which I do not understand as an auditor, obviously. So it is outside my technical competence. So I need not verify what it is. So I reasonably believe management to be. I call them and I ask them, hey, what is this? They'll say, sir, this is so and so, so and so, so and so. And then they say, this is the value. So if it comes within my competence, I'll judge, I'll form an opinion whether it is right or not, or otherwise I can take the help of an expert. That's it. But don't expect me to learn what this inventory is because many a times it is beyond my scope. So this is the fourth point. Then constraints on the scope. Oh my God. Underline. Constraints on the scope. Limitations on the scope. Restrictions on the scope. What does it mean? I want to verify something, but management or circumstances are impairing my ability to conduct audit. They're not allowing me. Who? It could be management. Management said, no, don't verify that. We'll not allow you to verify that. Okay, that is a blunder. That never happens. Okay, in my experience, I have never come across a situation where my client asked me, don't verify this. If I ask, I want to verify this, they say, okay, sir, up to you. Maybe 99.99999% of the cases, no one restricted me. I do not even, I cannot even memorize the situation where something exception happened. No. So they will normally agree with what you want to verify. But if there is any circumstance or if there is any situation where the management or, certain other factor other than management is putting a constraint, a restriction or limitation on the auditor's ability to perform audit, then what to do? Then you should you should not give a clean report. You should give either a disclaimer of opinion that we'll discuss in auditing standards, and there is another chapter for audit report, or a qualified opinion. A qualified opinion. Now, look here. Constraints on the scope of the audit that impair the auditor's ability to express unqualified opinion. That means I am not able to express an unqualified opinion. That means I have to express either a qualified opinion or adverse opinion. So those kind of constraints should be given in audit report in detail. So read like this. Constraints should be set out in audit report. Constraints should be set out in audit report. Pavan sir, where do we place these in audit report? Is it on emphasis on matter paragraph or other matter? All these things we'll discuss later. But if you feel there is a constraint on the scope of the audit, dear auditor, put it in your audit report. This is what ICI is asking you. Clear? Is this clear?